Hi, and welcome to the Middle Room Workshop. Today I'm going to show you how you can make projects where you have laser cutting and engraving at the same time with your Ninja Master machine. Without further ado, let's get into it. Unfortunately, the Ninja Master desktop application does not allow us to perform cutting and engraving at the same time within the same project. And that's because natively doesn't have an option for you to select certain objects or certain paths and to set the engraving or cutting parameters independently. So when you're loading a project into a custom project, especially into the Ninja Master desktop application, the parameter you are going to set, they are basically for the entire project. And additionally to this, if you follow my channel, you should know already by now that there is not an option to engrave and an option to cut in the software. Really, the demarcation line is given by the parameters that you're going to set depending on the material and the thickness of the material. So now we'll get into Inkscape. For this demonstration, I'll design a simple business card where you will have some content to be engraved, obviously, and then the business card itself, the outline, to be cut in order to detach the business card from the sheet. The material I'm going to use for this project is going to be a 0.5 millimeter hard cardboard. And okay, let's give it a try. Okay guys, so in order to mix engraving and cutting, you will need to basically do it into 2 steps. So in order to do this without using any external software and sticking to the Ninja Master, we will need to basically create one G code for the engraving and one G code for the cutting. So once you're happy with your project, just make sure to have everything as a path. So in Inkscape, just select everything by dragging across the object. Go over to path and then say object to path. What this will do, it's basically convert what was an object into a path, and how you can recognize is when you double click on the object, on the element, you'll basically see these editable nodes, which you wouldn't otherwise have if this was an object. Okay, so let's click escape. Now let's first prepare the engraving part of the project. So let's go to the select tool, let's select everything. Let's go over to our extension, laser engraver and laser. As you can see, I already worked it out. So business card engraving, and then I will say apply. Let's wait for it to finish. And here up you can see the preview. Okay, close this one. So let's quickly go and have a look on our output. Yeah, this is the last one. So I have a small previewer, and you can see the long G code over there. Okay, now we want to repeat the same thing but for the boundary only. So let's select only the box. Let's go once again over to extension, laser engraver, laser, and then I'm going to name this one cut, and let's give it apply. It's gonna take shorter time this time because the geometry is much simpler. So let's once again go to our output folder, and as you can see, the difference here is we got the 60 kilobytes in the engraving and 1 kilobyte in the cutting. And if I preview it, you can see that the G code is fairly simple and short. Okay, so once this is done, we can launch the Ninja Master, which If you already follow my video, you know it should be fully connected in order to launch. And now here over the control tab, left click and load the G code. So .nc file, this is what we want to load. So the first thing I suggest to do is to go with the engraving. And that's because at least, you know, you will have a larger workpiece that will be steady on the bench before to actually proceed with the cutting. So let's open it up. Now, I'm not quite sure why this is resizing my project, which was already in millimeter. Anyway, what you want to do, just zoom in. And so, as you can see over here, we got the actual size of the business card. I mean, not the physical size, but the ratios are all correct. That's the reason why I told you to select everything in the first place. So what we want to do now is to make sure that the size it's what we want. So I will just set the size. I know that the business card is 85 millimeter wide. So once we do that, it's rescaling and it's going to the closest possible measurement that can be okay for what we inputted, and then give it okay. Once we are ready, we can just visualize the boundary of our engraving job, and we can align our workpiece. Once we are also happy with the alignment, we can give it a stop. Now, here is the time where we have to set our power and power settings and burning time settings. So the first part is going to be, as I said, engraving job. So I'm going to put this down to 20% and a 6 millisecond burning time. That's something that I found working pretty good for the material that I've placed beneath the laser. And once I'm ready, I'm just click play and wait for it to work it out. And by the way, what you will notice now as the job progresses is that actually we will be engraving also the boundary, but that's not a problem because then later on we will cut exactly on the same point. The important thing in all of this is that being a two-steps project, two-steps process, we don't have to move the workpiece. We don't have to shake the table or the bench where our laser machine is located. So that's the only way to have a clean job. All right, I will now speed everything up and then we will wait for it to finish. Okay, once the engraving is finished, we can clear up the control here with left click and clear. And now we can load the file for the actual cutting of the boundary of our business card. As I said earlier, it is very important now to don't move the project, to don't move the workpiece, to don't shake the desk or the bench where the laser engraver is located, because that will affect the final result. So once again, left click, load G-code.nc file, and let's select our cut file. Give it a open. As you can see, once again, is undersized, so set the dimension here. The width is 85 once again, and as you can see, it's coming out the exact same dimension as before. Let's give it OK. Just to double check that everything is fine, we will make sure that we'll test again for the alignment. And as you can see, the alignment is perfect. There is no difference. So we can give it a stop. This time we are going to set up the machine to cut. So we are going to boost up the power and also to increase the burning time. So what I found working fine after we already have the first line of engraving is approximately 45% and about 13 milliseconds of burning time. So when we are happy with the settings, let's and sorry, not to miss them, and 2 passes, so 2 times. So let's give it a play and let's go. We'll now speed up once again. Okay guys, is it now time of the truth? I'll just put this over here and let's see what's the result. I think yeah, that's pretty much okay. And this is our beautiful business card made out of natural material. That's basically a 0.5 millimeter thick cardboard. As you can see on the back side, we didn't touch with the engraving process. That means that actually, if you like, you could design also the back side of your business card, but in my case it was just for a demonstration, so I'm not going to show you that. And that's how you do it. All right, and this is it. So what you really need to do is to follow these few steps. You will basically need to export the file into multiple parts. So independently, the part that has to be engraved and the part that has to be cut, so that then you can load them independently and set the adequate parameters. A very important thing not to forget is that within the step 1 and the step 2, whichever you choose is it's up to you. I mean, I recommend going for engraving first and then cutting, so that you have a heavier material and the chances that the material moves are lower, but that's depending also on the project you're working on, so that's up to you. But anyhow, the important thing is that within the step 1 and the step 2, you're not going to move the workpiece or to shake the table or the bench where the laser engraving machine is located. So other than that, it's basically a simple load and play. All right, so guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, that you found it helpful. If you liked it, click the thumbs up button below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more video like this one. Ciao for now.